Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart, and today I'm talking about the 8 nicest designer scents in my collection, the 8 nicest designer fragrances I've ever smelled. There is some overlap with my Holy Grail list. However, Holy Grail lists are not entirely the same. They tend to have better performance because in this case, it's only the scent that matters today. But performance matters for Holy Grail lists. So does, emotional attachment to a certain fragrance. And so does versatility. And some of these fragrances today, they're not versatile at all, but they smell great. To me, anyway. To me, I think some of you guys will like some of the scents here, but yeah, really simple, really stripped down, just nice smelling fragrances. Fragrance number 1, this is Dior Homme Parfum. This was my number 1 Holy Grail fragrance. I really wanted this, and this is my number 1 best smelling fragrance of all time. Now, it's not versatile at all. It's not one of those fragrances that, I'm going to be wearing all the time. I guess for a couple of reasons. One of them is I really, really like it, so I don't want to wear it too often, but also it's a cold weather fragrance. If you're living in a warm climate or a mostly warm climate, I don't think this will work well for you. For me, the colder, the better with this one. But the great thing I like about this is it's a complex fragrance that does a lot of different things. Number 1, it's a really good leather fragrance. That's its primary function. Number 2, it's got both ambrette and iris. That's what Dior Homme Intense has. So it's got that sort of back and forth. Some people get a little bit of a Dior Homme Intense vibe here, but this is not just a stronger Dior Homme Intense. This also has quite a bit of oud. So it's got an oud rose combination. And then occasionally you can pick up a little bit of orange, if you can believe it. And sometimes oud and orange work really well together. So this is one of those fragrances where you put on and you go for a walk, and 1 minute you'll get one thing, and next minute you'll get something else. It'll last 12 hours at least, tons of projection. It is an absolute masterpiece. Fragrance number 2 I've been trying to get for 3 years. This is by the Fireplace by Maison Margiela. This wasn't on my Holy Grail list, but it would be now because now I have a full bottle. This, much like Dior Homme Parfum, is also a very complex fragrance. There's a lot going on here. Aside from the really nice Maison Margiela vanilla, you've got some smoky gaiac wood and cloves. So the cloves give the gaiac wood kind of a spicy, almost like being in a fireplace kind of feel. Then you've got some pink pepper, some resins. So there's a lot of different factors going on here. Add to that beast mode performance. I mean, somebody actually once said that they weren't getting good performance from this. And now that I have a bottle, I've been spraying a lot of it. They must have gone nose blind because this is a very, very strong performer. Now, I know this is not everyone's cup of tea. Some men find it to be a little bit too sweet, a little bit feminine. I still think it leans more on the masculine side because there's a lot of cloves in here. It can be a little challenging, but yeah, I love it. Fragrance number 3, this is Longv by Cartier. And this is a fragrance where if I go back and look at the old videos, I can see how legitimately happy I am to have this. You can actually see it in the video. And I have to admit, I really do like it. Now, it was a happy accident. When I first ordered it, I knew it had a lot of iris. And I thought, okay, well, I need another iris fragrance with a little bit of a different twist to it. And then I got it. I didn't find too much iris, but the honey in this, the way it works with the gaiac wood in it, it creates like a mead-like effect, which is like an old-fashioned type of honeyed beer. That's what they were going for. The gaiac wood in it gives it a little bit of a bite, and I can see it smelling like mead. But it's also got kind of a strange violet leaf thing going where it's not super, super powerful. It doesn't project that much. It lasts a long time, but the projection here, is not crazy good. So again, this is a fragrance where I love the scent. The overall, the projection piece is a weak piece, but the scent I absolutely adore. Fragrance number 4, this is Prada Luna Rossa Black, and I think aside from Dior Homme Parfum, this is probably my second favorite fragrance in terms of just pure scent of all time. This has a powdery, musky combination that I love. That's almost like a different texture. It's the only other fragrance I've really noticed that was Jean Paul Gaultier's Elixir. I definitely get a little bit of that sweet, musky, powdery feel, especially early on with Elixir. I get this here. I do prefer this, though. So this has both tonka and amber, so it's definitely sweet, but it has an angelica note, which I think plays a big role. So it's an herbal note that's also a little musky that kind of tones down the sweetness just a tad, and it just makes it kind of subtle, as a word I like to use when I really like a fragrance. It has a subtle quality. It has really good performance. But yeah, this is a one where I've had on my list to get a full bottle for a long time. And as I did with By the Fireplace, I think I will at some point. Fragrance number 5, this is Dior Fahrenheit. And it was between this and Fahrenheit Le Parfum. And as much as I love that fragrance, especially in cool weather, I like this one a little bit more. Fahrenheit Le Parfum is modernized beautifully with the rum and the vanilla, turning it into a gourmand, but I just like this original toxic brew. It's one of those scents that's super polarizing. Much like gasoline. Now, people sometimes compare this to gasoline. I don't like to do that, to be honest with you. It's more than that. But you know how some people just, and I'm one of them, love the smell of gas, or petrol as you call it in Britain? Some people love that. I do. Some people hate it. I literally saw someone get sick from smelling gasoline too much. That's what this is like. I can see people just hating this. I can't understand it, but I can understand it, if you know what I mean. It's got great performance. It comes in a cool bottle. I don't know. I'd love it. Number 6, this is Dior Homme 2020. And when I tried this for the first time, I was aware that Dior had gone in a different direction. But I love this right from the get-go. I think this is the best woody scent ever. Well, obviously, it's on this list, so I've got to really like it. There are 4 woody notes in it, though. Isoe Super, Cashmerean, Cedar, and Vetiver. It's all got some added musk. It's just beautiful. It even has a little bit of freshness, some elemi here. But what I get from this most of all is it smells formal. It smells really, really high quality. It smells what you would think a high quality fragrance was going to smell like. When you think about it, it makes sense. Christian Dior had iris as its main note for men's fragrances for 15 years. They had to have something extraordinary to go to. And I'll bet as soon as they came up with this, they're like, okay, we can get rid of iris now because that's how good this is. Number 7 might be a surprise. It's Oud Noir by Versace. And Versace is normally thought of as being a solid, but nothing too fancy, middle-range price-wise, middle-range quality house. And yet, I think this is by far their best fragrance. I really do. I think some other fragrances work, like Dylan Blue and Eros in dating situations. But in terms of lovely scent, I think this outstrips them all. It is a little bit more expensive, but it is more than worth it. Some people compare this to Oud Wood. I don't know about that. But this does have better performance than the new Oud Wood, which is watered down to ridiculous degrees. But yeah, I love this. And it's a very complex fragrance for a Versace. So there's oud off the top, and then it's freshened oud with black pepper and saffron. So that spices it up, lightens it up a little bit. Then the oud kind of dies down and it blends with the cardamom and it turns into a date night fragrance. The longer you wear it, you get good performance. I just sprayed it on and I can smell it. My God, it smells good. But yeah, when I first tried this and really, really liked it, I was like, well, I've still got hundreds of fragrances I want to try in my lifetime. I don't know if this one's awesome, but I don't know if this one is held out. This one is held out. This is a great fragrance. Finally, we have YSL's M7 Oud Absolu. This one was a surprise. I didn't expect to like this anywhere near as much as I do, because it has kind of a weird reputation. A lot of people think it's too strong, too astringent, and it is strong. It is kind of a dirty oud. It's not as well balanced as some of the other ouds on the market, and it's paired with orange and patchouli. Those are two notes that oud doesn't normally, especially orange. It's kind of a strange mix, but man, does it work. The performance is like 6 hours. Now, it's not beast mode like the original. I like the bottle. I like the scent. I like the projection. And it's just one of those like guilty pleasures. I really, really like it. And I just keep going back again and again and again. And finally, you admit to yourself, damn, I really like that fragrance, dirty oud or not. So anyway, this is great. Anyway, if you stayed the whole time, thanks for watching, guys. And have a good weekend.